Hey, Agent619.com fan. My name is Jeff Lazatis, and we have Nettie.
Hi, my name is Neddy Lau.
Nettie is a longtime friend and colleague in the industry. I brought her in today because she is a selling specialist and a distressed property negotiator. You've been doing that for a while, right?
Since 2008, when this distressed market was on at that time.
Those are some rough times back then. I'm glad you were able to make it through and be as successful as you are.
I actually like it because I like to serve my clients, especially the seller.
Today, we wanted to talk to you guys about what we're seeing in the market. Nettie, let me ask you, whenever you're at like a family function or like let's take a dance thing that you're into, what are people talking to you about?
They're always asking me about, if this is the good time to buy or sell. And, I heard that foreclosure is coming to crush the market. So I'm not really sure what to tell them because I'm not really sure if they're going to be the seller, the buyer, investor, or a renter. So each is very different. So I need to find out more about what they're thinking.
Yeah, it is a kind of a hard question to answer, but I figure between us two, we can answer that question if we kind of look at foreclosures, at least from that point of view. So let's start by bringing up a slide here.
Okay, what we have here is the graph of all distressed property from 2012 to 2021. Notice it is the steep slope. That means foreclosure is hitting the real estate market less and less every month. What is important here is the average foreclosure. Pre-COVID, it's about 1,300.
Also important here to note as we look at the graph is looking at the tail end of spring of 2020, and we're definitely in the COVID season. Two things happened that kind of affect it here, and you can see it from the slide here. One is that eviction moratorium set up by the government, which that kind of changed these numbers a little bit, so that's why there's a slight drop May of 2020 to November 2020 where the eviction moratorium probably kicked in. So with the bank forbearance, it's not going to be reflected on here per se, but we know it's got to factor into that because look at this drop off at the very end from November 2020. It's really low. A bank forbearance is when a bank and a borrower has a loan at the bank, and let's say they can't make the payment to the bank because they got furloughed or they got a pink slip because of COVID. So the borrower and the bank, they work out an agreement with each other to say, okay, I can't pay you this month, but maybe next month I'll find another job, or I'll break into my savings or something and I'll pay you. Or maybe the bank will say, okay, you missed this month's payment, maybe we'll increase your payment for the next 3 months so that you can catch up. So it's pretty much an arrangement between the bank and the borrower, and that's a forbearance. Those two things happened in the spring of 2020, as you can see here from the graph. Also, if you look at the graph at where we are at today, let's say like May, June of 2021, that's a pretty low number. Nettie, what do you think that number is?
250?
Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah, 250. So Nettie, you were in the distressed market working with banks and clients. What were you seeing back then as the foreclosure numbers?
So in 2007 to 2010, the last crash was 10,000.
10,000 homes that were distressed. Okay. So can you foresee like a real estate crash based off the data of 250 homes currently, whereas before it was 10,000.
Math-wise, there is a big difference.
So no, you don't think so. Huh, interesting. So back to the original question as we're the screen share off, is it even a good time to buy or sell a house?
It's split between two market, between the buyer and the seller, and Jeff will tell us about the buyer side.
Okay, on the buyer side, it's still a great time to buy because in some markets of San Diego, we're starting to see some small changes and small ripples of corrections. And we're not talking drastic changes where prices are dropping 100,000. It's maybe like $5,000 here or there. So buyers are getting better negotiating power when it comes to price. And also, some markets are having a small inventory rise. And again, we're not talking like 100 houses hitting a specific zip code. It's maybe like 3 to 5 extra per area. So it's going to help out because now buyers can pick and choose a little bit more. And also, since there's a little bit more houses on the market that buyers can pick and choose from, it also means that there's less competition for those houses. So that's why we think it's still a good time to buy. And of course, since we're in the COVID times, the government has made the interest rates really low still. So it's still cheaper for a house loan for your house rather than waiting for interest rates to go up. So what's it like on the seller side?
On the seller side, though, we might, we will still get 100% for asking price, or sometimes probably 103. So it depends, though, The good thing about that, if we're looking at the school side, it is still an A+. So to me, it is still good time to sell your home.
Oh, wow. Okay, so everybody's happy. So 100%, 103%, both getting A+. I don't think anybody should be sad about that. Yeah. So, okay. So let's take this into consideration as school is starting up in some parts of San Diego, and as we approach the fall of 2021. We just wanted to bring you guys what we're seeing at the market, and hopefully we were able to show you what's going on with the distressed property market.
Thank you so much. My name is Neri Garcia Lau. My phone number is 619-920-4592. You can also see me on Facebook, Neri Garcia Lau.
And my name is Jeff Lozatis. My phone number is 619-800-2619, or you can find me at Agent619. That's either my website, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. Thanks. Hello, mic check, mic check, mic check.
Mic check, mic check.